Hi, a word before we get started. I shot this video a couple of months ago. That was in February, when the world was a completely different place. I spent a couple of weeks in one of my favorite cities in the entire world, in Rome, which is a fantastic place filled with wonderful people, the best food imaginable, great wine, and of course all the art. And I spent a couple of weeks just running around and videoing everything that I could and wanted to edit all of that and show it to you. But of course today the world is a very different place, and it would be kind of weird not to at least mention that. I feel it's sort of strange to show footage of me running around happily in a city that is now in crisis, as of course the entire world now is. But then again, I hope you will see it in the spirit in which it was made, and I hope you enjoy it and that you can hopefully visit one day, and let's hope that we can all stay safe and healthy, and there will be a time soon when we can again shake hands with strangers and give hugs to the people we love, and we can all go and see all these wonderful things for real. But in the meantime, at least, well, there's a few videos like this one. I hope you see it in that spirit and enjoy it. Hi, welcome to Stories of Art. My name is Karel Huidekoper and I'm standing here in Rome next to this little elephant here. It is one of Bernini's most frustrating projects, and it's such a little cute statue that I wanted to share it with you. If you are ever in Rome and you want to look for it, it's not hard to find, because look behind me, that's the Pantheon. It's sort of at the back of the Pantheon. You can't really miss it. And it's at the in front of the church called Santa Maria sopra Minerva. That means the Santa Maria of Minerva. That sounds pretty pagan, I know, and it is actually named after the pagan goddess of wisdom in battle, Athena, basically. It has that name because the church and the convent that was attached to it was built on a sanctuary, and a temple dedicated to Minerva. And in the gardens of that sanctuary they found this obelisk. Now, obelisks were found all over Rome because the Romans, way back when, 2,000 years ago, loved these things, and they had imported many of them from Egypt. Stolen most of them, of course. And they're these big granite blocks and they don't really deteriorate much. So when the Roman Empire fell, these things mostly just fell somewhere and were found ages after. But in the Renaissance and Baroque era, they wanted to do something with these things because they were known to be incredibly ancient. So what they wanted to do is place them on fountains or whatever. But right here there is no fountain. So they decided to put it on something of a little statue, something to carry it. And Bernini was tasked with designing something for it. And he got the order in 1630, which was a time when he was not that busy, so he needed the work. And he made a series of designs for it, and when the Pope died, he had just had to go ahead, but the next Pope said no, he wanted something different. And that kept happening and happening. Every time he had a design, someone came up with an idea to stop him. And one of the things that stopped him mostly was in the building right behind me, over here, where the flag is hanging out. In the 17th century, that was the main office of the Inquisition. And the Inquisition objected to having a pagan monument on top of a pagan sculpture right in front of their offices, and so they kept blocking his progress. Now, finally, 35 years after he had been asked to do this, he finally got the go-ahead to make this little elephant, because an elephant was decided was not that offensive to anyone. By that time, he was in his late 60s, and he he didn't sculpt that much anymore. Well, that is, he was working on a dozen or so other projects. At the same time, he was making the portraits of Louis XIV in France. So what he did with his enormous workshop, he would make designs and someone else would carry them out. In this case, probably a Ferrata. He probably did the chiseling. And he made this lovely, cute little elephant that here in Rome, people usually called Il Porcino, because it's a bit of a fat elephant and they call it a piglet. That's what that is. And when you look at it, it has a slightly long trunk, and it's, well, clear that it's an elephant, but it's not an anatomically correct elephant. But there is also one of the things that everyone in Rome knows, and that is that the elephant is looking around, kind of mischievous, and that his backside is pointed straight to where the offices of the Inquisition was. So that the Inquisition would always and only see this side of the elephant. I kind of hope it's true. So, having said all that, I'll give you a look at the other side of this little elephant. And having said all that, this may be a really good time, if you like this video, to like this video, share it if you want to, and you might consider subscribing to my channel so it will be easier to find all my other videos. There's even a little bell icon. You can touch that, and once you do that, you get notified anytime I post new videos. And thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.